20 new mods for July. Watch them all in one go. Hey everyone, in today's video I'm bringing you 20 freshly released or recently updated mods for July, handpicked to help you perfect your mod pack. Let's dive right in. Brutality introduces a collection of around 20 visually striking and mechanically unique weapons, many of which take clear inspiration from League of Legends and Terraria. Each weapon brings something distinct. Some can transform mid-combat, others unleash flashy skills with a right-click, and several offer charge slashes or wide-area strikes. What makes this mod especially appealing is its full compatibility with better combat. When used together, you'll get smoother combos, more responsive hit feedback, and a much more refined rhythm to your fights, making every swing and skill activation feel incredibly satisfying. Not all weapons come with custom 3D models, but what they lack in visual complexity, they make up for in gameplay variety. And since this mod is designed as an add-on for Terramity, its balance leans toward that mod's tougher enemies, meaning the damage output may feel overpowered in the vanilla aspect, but just right in a Terramity setup. If you're already running Terramity, Brutality is a must-have. It expands your arsenal with weapons that are not only powerful, but feel genuinely fun to wield. Not sure if you remember, but in the last video I covered Create Hypertubes, the mod that lets us teleport ourselves effortlessly through vacuum tubes. Well, today's video is all about its latest update, and the author just added a surprisingly useful feature. It can now be used for fishing. If any fish happen to swim near the tube's entrance, the system will automatically suck them in and transport them straight to the exit. It also supports villager transport now. If you've ever had to move villagers manually, you'll know how much of a pain that is. This update saves you all the trouble. So, if you've already got Hypertubes installed, make sure to grab the latest version. Warriors of World 2 is an add-on for EpicFight that introduces a set of traditional Japanese-style samurai armor, but what really steals the show are the 4 uniquely crafted katanas, each offering its own combat rhythm and flair. The first katana will feel instantly familiar to fans of Devil May Cry. Its fluid combo system and signature sheathing strike closely resemble Virgil's Yamato, making every slash feel cinematic and precise. The second katana is a heavier back-mounted blade with slower swings, but makes up for it with a transformation mechanic. Holding the attack button activates a demon mode, massively boosting your damage and letting you cut through enemies with sheer power. The third katana is the flashiest of the bunch. It features a cherry blossom dash strike that can be charged for a second stage follow-up. If timed right, this ends with a powerful area slash when you sheath the sword, creating a satisfying and stylish burst. The fourth katana revolves around momentum and counterplay. Each defeated enemy earns you a victory point, which can be spent to unleash a perfectly timed counterattack. This katana rewards players who love reactive, rhythmic dueling. Each sword plays differently, and together they form a collection that's both visually striking and mechanically rich. Boids, a term used to describe flocking behavior in fish and birds, is exactly what this mod is all about. It introduces a complete AI overhaul for Minecraft's vanilla fish, giving them much more natural and realistic group movement. With this mod installed, fish no longer swim aimlessly or in isolation. Instead, they now follow 3 core behavioral rules: separation, avoid crowding nearby fish; alignment, match the direction of nearby fish; cohesion, move toward the average position of nearby fish fry. Together, these simple rules simulate lifelike, fluid, synchronized motion that brings your underwater world to life. If you're looking to enhance the realism of your aquatic environments, this is definitely one to try. Yggdrasil introduces one of the most breathtaking structure additions you can find, starting with a colossal world tree crafted from cherry blossom blocks. Towering like a vertical dungeon, this massive structure invites players to climb from its roots all the way to the treetop, battling waves of enemies along the way and uncovering hidden treasures at the heart of its sprawling canopy. The second structure is a vast floating island, more accurately, a sky temple. This airborne marvel is divided into over a dozen unique sections, all centered around a towering spire that pierces the clouds. Both builds are made up of thousands of blocks, so they might take a moment to fully load, but even without stepping inside, they already feel like natural wonders. If you're into environmental decoration or love challenging, large-scale exploration, This is a must-try addition to your world. If you're already using Golems Refreshed, a popular resource pack that gives Iron Golems biome-specific skins, then today's featured resource pack might just be essential for you. For those unfamiliar, Golems Refreshed customizes Iron Golem textures and models based on the biome they spawn in, giving each one a unique look that matches its surroundings. However, there's a small drawback. It conflicts with Fresh Animations, the most downloaded animation resource pack. When both are active, the Golem textures often revert back to vanilla. That's where this compatibility pack comes in. It bridges the gap between the two. Once installed, it allows you to enjoy the custom biome skins from Golems Refreshed, while also keeping the smooth, expressive animations from Fresh Animations. So if you're a fan of both packs, don't skip this compatibility add-on. It ties everything together beautifully. Let's talk about the latest update to Super Warfare. This time, the author has introduced a handheld heavy machine gun, the M2HB. As a true heavy weapon, it does come with a major drawback: massive recoil. But the upside more than makes up for it. Each bullet deals over 40 points of damage, making it an absolute powerhouse. As one of the few high-quality firearm mods out there, Super Warfare continues to gain traction, and this update only adds to the appeal. So if you haven't updated yet, now's the time. AshVehicle is an add-on for Super Warfare, introducing a lineup of heavily armed tanks and armored vehicles to the battlefield. As of the latest update, it adds 6 fully drivable, rechargeable combat vehicles, all of which share a consistent and responsive driving feel. Even on steep or rugged terrain, they handle surprisingly well. Given that Super Warfare is still a relatively new firearm mod, there aren't many add-ons available yet, and this makes AshVehicle one of the very few standalone vehicle expansions currently on the market. If you're looking to beef up your arsenal with some mobile firepower, this pack is definitely worth checking out. Cinematic Zoom is a sleek little utility mod that adds a buttery smooth, cinematic-style zoom system to your game, perfect for content creators or anyone who loves polished visuals. Once installed, you can activate the zoom mode with a single key. Not only does the camera zoom in, but it also adds those classic letterbox black bars, instantly giving your screen that movie-like feel. Unlike the vanilla Spyglass, this zoom is silky and fluid without any jarring transitions. You can even adjust the zoom level with your scroll wheel, which makes it great for landscape shots, dramatic close-ups, or in-game cutscenes. If you're filming videos or just want to make your world look more cinematic, this is a must-have tool. Steve Goes Fishing completely overhauls the vanilla fishing mechanic. Now, when you cast your line, you'll actually see all the possible loot swimming beneath the surface. If you hook onto a basic item, the game lets you reel it in effortlessly. But if it's a fish, that's when the real challenge begins. Hooked fish will actively try to escape, turning the process into a tug-of-war stamina battle. You'll need to reel it in steadily while managing line tension. Pull too hard for too long, and the line turns red, eventually snapping and letting the fish get away. It's all about careful pacing and reading the fish's movements. If you're tired of Minecraft's original fishing being a background task, this mod brings a fresh and skill-based system that turns every catch into a little game of its own. If you've ever felt that vanilla deserts are a bit too barren, Extension Desert gives them a dramatic Egyptian-inspired makeover. This mod overhauls both the desert and Badlands biomes, bringing them to life with a mix of mythological structures, ancient ruins, and lush oases. You'll stumble upon towering statues from Egyptian legends, sprawling colosseums, and completely redesigned pyramids that feel far more authentic and grand than their vanilla counterparts. The environment itself also gets a visual upgrade. Cacti now bloom with flowers, and you might even come across water sources hidden in dry terrain, making the biome feel more dynamic and ecologically diverse. What's great is that these changes blend seamlessly with other biomes, so the mod doesn't break world generation or immersion. Lios Overhauled Villages completely reimagines how Minecraft's 5 vanilla village types generate, giving them a full-scale makeover. Beyond just expanding their size, it also brings a much more thoughtful layout. Zones are clearly defined, streets are layered and connected, and the overall structure feels like an actual settlement rather than a random scattering of huts. Each village now comes equipped with plazas, markets, roads, fences, and even decorative gardens, creating the sense of a real, lived-in community. And just as impressive is the attention to detail in every individual building. Whether it's a farmer's home, a blacksmith's forge, or a library, each one has been carefully redesigned, completely shedding the plain, blocky feel of the originals. We're all familiar with how skeletons and wither skeletons can occasionally drop their skulls when defeated, but this mod gives those skulls a second purpose. Now, when a skull hits the ground, it may revive into a new skeleton after a few seconds, complete with a custom resurrection animation. These reborn skeletons don't carry weapons, but they do behave differently depending on their type. In contrast, normal skeleton skulls will bounce and try to escape, only regenerating after they've put some distance between themselves and the player, possibly a nod to their former life as cautious archers. This mod is an add-on for EpicFight, but unlike most others that add weapons or enemies, this one focuses purely on enhancing visual effects during combat. With it installed, each weapon blade now leaves behind a glowing trail when swung. The glow color matches the weapon's original hue, so the more vibrant the blade, the flashier the effect. It adds a sense of power and elegance to every strike, making combat feel much more dynamic and cinematic. One great thing is that you don't have to worry about compatibility issues with shaders. I tested it with several popular shader packs and it works flawlessly across the board. So if you're already using EpicFight, this add-on is definitely worth trying for a more stylish and immersive combat experience. StarHUD brings us a much more intuitive and informative display interface. Once installed, we can see a wealth of key information on screen. Coordinates, FPS, weather, time, direction, tool and armor durability, and more. All presented in a clean, modern, minimalist style. It also transforms status effect timers into battery-like icons and shows the entity our crosshair is pointing at. Because it covers so many elements, some features, like displaying the inventory on screen, are disabled by default, but you can easily enable them or tweak other settings using a mod configuration menu. I tested its compatibility with AutoHUD, and they work perfectly together. If you like how it looks, I definitely recommend trying them in combination for an enhanced HUD experience. Pickup Notifications does exactly what its name promises. It adds a clean and responsive notification system to the game whenever you pick up an item. Now, instead of silently collecting loot, you'll see a visual cue pop up in the top left corner of the screen, displaying the item's name and quantity in the order you picked them up. Even better, the mod is fully customizable. When paired with a mod menu, you can tweak the display size, position, and alignment of the notifications. Whether you want them to appear on the left, right, or top of the screen, it's all up to you. It's a super handy quality of life feature, especially for players who like to keep track of what they're picking up on the fly. Everyone knows how awkward vanilla villages can look when they spawn on uneven terrain, houses floating, paths half buried. It's not a great sight. Improved village placement is here to fix exactly that. This mod completely overhauls how villages generate, ensuring they now appear only on flatter terrain, making the layout look much more organized and visually appealing. No more lopsided blacksmiths or staircases leading into dirt walls. It also works with villages added by other mods, making it a great utility for heavily modded packs. Let's talk about the latest update to Iron Spells and Spellbooks. This patch introduces a new Ice Spider Nest, a chilly underground structure where players will encounter larger, magic-wielding ice spiders that use freezing spells in combat. Defeating them not only provides a decent challenge, but also grants access to new ice-themed crafting materials and spellbooks. Ice Tomb encases the caster in a frozen shell. While it slows down movement, it fully absorbs one incoming hit, perfect for blocking high-damage attacks or surviving boss combos. Snowball lets you hurl a massive snowball that not only damages and slows enemies on impact, but also inflicts a freezing status effect on nearby mobs, making them vulnerable to follow-up spells. Frostbite is where things get brutal. When active, any frozen enemy killed by you will shatter into an ice statue, and smashing that statue causes it to explode into deadly icicles, dealing area damage to surrounding foes. While this update isn't massive, the mechanics feel tight and combo-friendly. If you're already using Iron Spellbooks in your pack, It's definitely worth updating to try out these frosty new features. Next up is a mod whose name says it all: Immersive Furniture. As you'd expect, this one's all about realism and interactivity, but what really sets it apart is its global furniture database system. At the heart of the mod is a custom furniture workbench, which not only lets you craft items but also browse and download furniture designs uploaded by other players. That means you're not just installing a mod, you're stepping into a living, ever-expanding furniture ecosystem powered by community creativity. And yes, you can upload your own creations for others to enjoy too. Even just the built-in collection is already quite extensive, covering everything from bedrooms and living rooms to kitchens, bathrooms, and outdoor decor. With the global catalog constantly growing, there's always something new to explore, making this an easy recommendation for anyone into building or interior design. Deadly Dungeon is a structure mod all about exploration, bringing a variety of dungeon types to the overworld. You'll find towering structures above ground and sprawling labyrinths deep below. One great feature is that underground dungeons aren't too hard to locate. The mod adds subtle surface entrances to help guide you. If you spot a small, slightly raised structure while exploring, chances are you've just found a dungeon entrance. Head down and your adventure begins. What really makes this mod stand out is its high degree of randomness. Every dungeon is procedurally generated, meaning room layouts, corridors, traps, and loot will be different each time. And if you're after a bigger challenge, the mod also includes a data pack version that adds 3 massive dungeons to the mix. These mega structures are huge, big enough to spend an entire day exploring. Just be aware they may cause noticeable lag during generation, so pick the version that matches your PC's power. Hey guys, if you're looking for a reliable Minecraft server, DatHost has got you covered with fast, easy-to-use hosting. Plus, if you use my discount link, you'll get 30% off your first purchase. They also offer a complete setup guide on their website and a 7-day money-back guarantee, so there's absolutely no risk. Give it a try and get your server up and running today.